Everyone back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the Aftermath. This is the show we do when the dust has settled from the post-match reaction to Newcastle United's last game, which happened to be the first away win since last April against Leicester City. Yes, the 4-1 demolition of Everton at their new Hill Dickinson Stadium, which, to be honest with you, is a very nice stadium. I've been in Liverpool and went past it before. It's a very nice looking stadium. Looked good on the TV as well. I'm sure the away fans definitely enjoyed their visit to the old Hill Dickinson Stadium. More of the same, please, Newcastle United. So that was long overdue from Eddie Howe and the lads. And it was a great performance. Everton weren't great, but I think the reason Everton weren't great was because Newcastle completely nullified their attacking threat. Now, they haven't got anybody up front, really. You know, the boy Barry tries hard and Beto was just a bigger lump, but they haven't really got a proper centre-forward up top. And I think every Premier League team needs a proper centre-forward to do anything in this division. If you don't have it, you're relying on your midfielders to control games and score goals. And it was a good goal by Dewsbury Hall, following up his goal against Manchester United today, but that's not enough for Everton. But what Newcastle United did so well, and we said this against Manchester City as well, when those full-backs come in the shape of Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento, we just have balance. We just look better. Not only do we look better defensively, we look better offensively as well, because our wingers get to go forward. And we saw that from Anthony Elanga and Harvey Barnes again yesterday. Certainly Elanga, I think he played a part in the first 3 goals. He takes a shot to win the corner for the first one. He's involved with getting the ball in the box for Lewis Miley's goal that went straight through the pantomime villain as Jordan Pickford, which was atrocious goalkeeping, by the way. England's number 1, I'm not entirely sure. Give Aaron Ramsdale a few games under his belt. Maybe he'll push him for that jersey. But he plays his part in that as well. And then he sets up the third for Nick Woltemade, which is a beautiful chip. It's Berbatov-esque from Woltemade. He doesn't seem to score crap goals. He just scores class goals. And he just has that presence, that aura up there, that calmness. It's almost like time stands still for Nick Woltemade when he's up there. It's a bit like what Dennis Bergkamp used to be like, what Dimitar Berbatov used to be like, even, you know, what Eric Cantona was like to a certain extent. Now, listen, I'm not saying Woltemade is anywhere near as good as any of those three before I start getting shit to cupboard, certainly of Arsenal and Manchester United fans. But you see what I'm saying there? He's got that calmness, that coolness, that assurance of his own ability to just do the flicks, the hold-up play, the role in the defenders, the goals. He's just going to get better, this lad. He really, really is. I mean, I know the plan when we signed him was to kind of rest him and let Wissa carry the load, but I tell you what, Wissa's got a hard job getting into this team when he's fit, because this kid is class. There's no doubt about it at all. But overall, it was an unbelievable performance. But the one player that I picked for man of the match was Lewis Miley. And I think what Eddie Howe did well, and I'll give him credit for this, and we've been screaming for it. It's not like this is something that's unexpected. The fans have been shouting for it. I think Eddie Howe has seen it, but it takes Eddie, it almost takes him so long before he makes these decisions. But the team has looked fatigued. The team has looked tired. It's looked exhausted. And he said that in his post-match comments as well about West Ham and Brentford in particular. So he rolled the dice, he refreshed it, and because he refreshed, we look recharged. Elanga come in and took his chance. You know, Lewis Miley come in and was amazing. You know, the goal, the assist, the assurance. The boy is 19, by the way. 19 years old. I'm sure if you go and look at Paul Scholes, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, even Jude Bellingham, what they had done at 19, it's, you know, Lewis Miley's probably not that far off. He's got 60 games for his hometown team. I think he's got, 5 goals now and 8 assists or something like that for a 19-year-old lad who has been in and out the side and had injuries and, you know, coming at 17, and, you know, he just looks a hell of a player. And, you know, he's definitely done more at the age of 19 for this club than Elliot Anderson has done. And look at him now. He's almost an England starter, one of the best midfielders in the league. And that's what I want to see more from Lewis Miley. I want to see more minutes. I want to see a midfield of Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali and Lewis Miley. The three of them passing triangles, comfortable on the ball, interchanging between the 6 and the 8. I think the three of them could do it. That's no disrespect to Joe Linton. I thought he was much better yesterday. Following the City performance, Joe Linton gave 2 good Joe Linton back-to-back performances, but he's not as good on the ball as the young 19-year-old lad. He just isn't. And I think if you put those three into that midfield, we could dominate games, and games against top opposition as well. Doesn't have to be low blocking sides. These three are so good on the ball. They could pass it between each other and run the other midfield ragged, then pick holes to exploit in behind with our pace, with Elanga, with Barnes, with Gordon, with Wissa when he's fit, with Asula even when he's back. There's pace there. There's Murphy as well. There's pace. the overlap of the full-backs. We could do that to teams, and I just think the more Lewis Miley plays like that, the harder it's going to be for the manager to ignore him as a mainstay in that midfield. I mean, it's a hell of a task on a 19-year-old's, shoulders to oust one of a Brazilian international, one of an Italian international. I do have my concerns about Tonali's future. I think if Champions League isn't secured this season, I think there's a good chance we lose Sandro Tonali. But as devastating as that would be, because I think he's arguably one of the best midfielders we've ever had in a black and white shirt, if this kid keeps progressing the way he is, we might not miss him as much as we thought if he does leave, but I don't want to think about that. I want to see the three of those in midfield together, just bossing games and being class. And we've got to give Malick Thiaw the shout as well. Since he got his opportunity, he's another player that wasn't in the team at the start of the season. He got his opportunity when Cher got knocked out, and he's never looked back, and he's the first name on a team sheet now. Whoever's in the back four is built around Malick Thiaw. Pace, strength, composure, and a goal threat. I said months ago this kid looks like he's got goals in him, and wow, those headers were incredible, especially the second one. But when you're getting delivery like that from the likes of Lewis Hall and Lewis Miley on corners, who would have thought it? These two young lads, one's 19, one's 21, I think, whipping in corners. Some of the best corners we've seen in the last 4 years. Only when we had Trippier when he first came here and he was whipping in crosses left, right and centre have we had such good delivery. These two are unbelievable on corners and set pieces. And if we can now be a threat from set pieces too, we're a big side. We should be a goal threat for so many teams moving forward. These two young lads whipping in crosses like they are. But I was really happy with what I saw. The pressure was on. I don't care what anybody says. The pressure was on. There was starting to be some disconcerting voices in amongst the fan base, and a lot of the fan base too. I know some people explode very quickly week to week, and it's Eddie in, it's Eddie out, and the flip and the flop, and that's entirely up to them. I don't have a go at any fan for having an opinion. That's your right as a fan. I don't like the truth seekers on our white steeds lambasting people for even questioning the manager. But when you ask questions of the manager, he's got to answer them, and he answered them in this game. He rolled the dice. He changed the team. And he brought some great players in, and I've got to talk about the goalkeeper. Whether Nick Pope was injured or not, we don't know. We'll never know, and I don't think we can bother asking about it. But Aaron Ramsdale yesterday, although he didn't have a lot to do from a goalkeeping sense in terms of shot stopping and, saves, flicking it over the bar and all that stuff, his quality was there for everybody to see. So many times they turned around and passed back to him, and we didn't feel nervous. The players didn't feel nervous. He was calm. He was composed with it. And most of the passes that he hit were designed to get to a player. Our lads could compete for it aerially and win it aerially. There was a lovely ball when he kind of curled it low level, and I shit myself. I thought, oh no, Everton are going to cut that out. But it was like a David Beckham crossfield pass straight to Joe Linton's foot. And I thought, this is quality from this lad. And then he makes a great save on the line, kind of climbs round Harvey Barnes to Cloris, was showing his goalkeeping prowess there as well. It was a great game for Aaron Ramsdale. The back four in front of him were excellent, but I think he gave them that confidence and he pushed them further up the park because they know he can come out with the ball. We were higher defensively, higher in the midfield and higher attack. That's how we got bodies around Nick Woltemade, and that's how we were effective in this game, and that's how Newcastle need to play moving forward. And I think, Nick Pope's got this injury. I don't think he'll be back in against Spurs. I think this is now Aaron Ramsdale's shirt to lose, and I think he shouldn't look back, a bit like Malick Thiaw has done already. Maybe Lewis Miley can do the same, with his performance, and perhaps Anthony Elanga can force himself back into this picture, because we dropped 55 million quid in the kid for a reason. We haven't seen it yet, but we saw a bit of that yesterday, that pace, that hunger, that desire. That's the bit that's annoyed me with Elanga, is he's gave up too many chases. He hasn't pressed hard enough. He hasn't ran by his fullback. He did all that yesterday, and if that gives him confidence going into two home games where we're electric at home, the crowd is up, the atmosphere's there, we're stronger at home, maybe Elanga can excel even further. So that performance was massively long overdue and massively needed by Eddie Howe on his birthday as well. Happy birthday to Eddie Howe. What a gift the players gave him there. And just for the confidence moving forward as well, we're 3 points off fifth. Now, listen, one, swallow doesn't make a swan kind of a thing, but we need to follow this up. We've got two good home games there that you would fancy us to win, even if we hadn't beat Everton. Yes, maybe confidence would have took a dent, but two home games against Spurs, we've got a good record. Burnley, newly promoted side, had good games this season, Burnley. They're no mugs, but I think Newcastle, if we're going to that with confidence, we win those games. We've got the Leverkusen game in the Champions League, which is going to be a real tough one, and then it's back to the first Tiny Weird derby. But if we can go into the Tiny Weird derby, potentially, you know, with 4 back-to-back Premier League wins. We go in there with loads of confidence. We've got better players. We're not going to be overawed by Sunderland. They're playing excellently this season. They're fourth for a reason. A brilliant comeback against Bournemouth the other day. Credit to the Mackhams. They've got belief, they've got energy, they've got intensity. They're playing for their manager. They've got a lot of good quality players in there, but they're going to lose players as well with the African Cup of Nations coming, so that's going to hurt them this season. But Newcastle go in that game with 4 Premier League wins under their belt. They're the informed team, and they should be feeling confident in the Tannymouth derby. But this was well overdue, massively needed, and we're all buzzing for it. I've been up early at the gym. I'm buzzing. I've had a great start of my morning. I'm still in a good mood because Newcastle, and when Newcastle wins, it just makes your weekend feel even better, doesn't it, to be fair? So I'm absolutely buzzing. You should be buzzing too. We'll be back with the Spurs preview in the next couple of days, then come and join us live post-match reaction to Spurs on Tuesday night, where hopefully Newcastle United can get another performance. I don't really want to see much of a change on that side, if I'm honest with you. I'd quite like to see Tonali come in and have that 3-man midfield I've just talked about. Could be like prime Barca, Xavi, Iniesta and Busquets. That could be Miley, Guimaraes and Tonali. Yeah, I love a bit of hyperbole, don't we all as football fans? But Newcastle won again. It feels good. Let's hope they can keep going on with it against Spurs on Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And by the way, guys, thank you so much for helping us get to the 12,000 subscriber mark. You absolute fucking legends, you. We're buzzing with that. We're there before Christmas. I'll do the video about what the prize is, and then we'll do the prize draw as well. You could be in it to win. It's a great prize. I'm sure you'll love it, just in time for Christmas too. But much love to you all. Thank you so much. Keep it evermore. Have a belter, and we'll see you later. Cheers.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.